Well, well, well. Look who decided to wander into the cosmic bazaar of truths, half-truths, and the kind of facts that make you go, wait, what? Welcome, my friend. Because we're diving deep today. Deep where, you ask? Into the Zeta Reticuli, those little grey folks who have more history with us than we might think. And yeah, we're about to stir the pot with some wild, mind-bending knowledge, so buckle up. Let's kick things off with a little backstory, because what's suspense without a juicy setup, right? The Zetas, those alien beings you've likely heard whispers about, are real. Not, oh, I saw something on a TV show real, but real. And their tale is as convoluted as any soap opera you've ever binge-watched. They're part of a group that has some serious connections with Earth. But before you grab your foil hat, let's break it down. Picture this. Long ago, but actually in the future, yeah, it gets wibbly-wobbly here. The Zetas were a thriving race. They didn't always look like the small greys we've come to associate with alien abductions. In fact, they were originally tall, white-skinned beings with a little more swagger in their biological step. But the Zetas, being the ambitious species they are, wanted more. They meddled with their dimension structure, tried to expand their turf, and ended up with a serious case of oops, we broke the universe. Like a DIY project gone horribly wrong, their world started falling apart, and they found themselves trapped between dimensions, losing not just their home, but also their ability to procreate. Total bummer, right? But here's where it gets interesting, and a bit spooky. These little greys aren't just sightseeing through time and space. Nope, they've got a whole agenda. And if you think it's just about abductions, think again. The old Zeta agenda, what's the deal? Ah, the old Zeta agenda? Sounds like a secret government file, doesn't it? Well, that's kind of accurate. The Zetas, after messing up their own timeline, started snooping around Earth's dimensional portals, hoping to use them to hop back into their past and fix things. But, surprise, surprise, it wasn't that easy. They got stuck here, and with Earth's elements being both helpful and harmful to their biology, they had to get creative to survive. Oxygen? Love it. Carbons? Not so much. It was like they'd developed a cosmic allergy. Now here's where things go full sci-fi thriller. The Zetas started making deals with Earth's governments. Yeah, you read that right. World War I came and went, and just as the planet was picking up the pieces, these extraterrestrial masterminds cozied up to some of the world's most powerful nations. They had tech, they had knowledge, and they were ready to share for a price. During World War II, the Zetas were in talks with both sides. They weren't picky about who'd win, as long as it suited their agenda. Ever wonder how some of those wild experiments got a jump start? Or how we moved from basic planes to atomic bombs in such a short time? I'm not saying it was all the Zetas, but I'm not saying it. And get this, they weren't just offering advanced tech. They were eyeballing our DNA. Why? Because their whole species was on the brink of extinction. No babies, no future. So naturally they thought, hey, what if we blend our genetics with humans? Surely that'll fix things. Thus began their experiments, first with animals, then with corpses, yikes, and eventually they went straight to living humans. The aim? A Zeta-human hybrid that could survive in our carbon-laced environment. The Zeta agenda and the world wars twisted alliances. At this point you might be thinking, okay, but where does the whole fallen angels thing come in? Ah, great question, dear Buttercup. The Zetas have often been mistaken for saviors, angels, and even gods. Imagine the confusion of governments and scientists in the 1940s when a bunch of super-intelligent beings show up with promises of peace and progress, only to later ask for a little DNA swap here and some tech secrets there. It wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. As if the world wars weren't enough chaos, the Zetas were neck-deep in their own struggles, both physical and dimensional. By the time World War II ended, the Zetas had planted the seeds for a covert interior government on Earth. This secret elite? They were and are pulling strings, believing they were in control when in reality the Zetas were playing them like fiddles. The Zetas gave them just enough tech to keep them hooked, but not enough to reveal the full extent of their power. The old Zeta agenda and your personal growth, yes you. Now let's bring this home, because this is where you, my friend, come in. All of this Zeta drama isn't just a galactic soap opera, it's about your growth. As these beings navigate their existential crisis, they're inadvertently shining a light on something very human: the need for self-awareness and sovereignty. The Zetas' manipulations and their use of what we now understand as chelontic science, the very fabric of reality's mechanics, are warnings. If we don't start asking the right questions, learning how to tap into our own inner wisdom, and mastering the codes of our biology and consciousness, we could end up as pawns in someone else's cosmic chess game. But don't sweat it too much. You've got the power to break free from the narrative. The Zeta agenda might be part of our collective story, but it's not the end game. The more you tune into your own sovereignty, question the structures around you, and maybe even meditate a bit on that vast universe, the more you'll realize that we're not just passive observers in this wild ride. We're creators, players, and storytellers in our own right. Wrapping up. Well, that was a roller coaster, wasn't it? If your mind isn't at least a little bit bent by now, I'll be seriously impressed. But that's the thing about truth. It's often stranger than fiction, and once you start down the rabbit hole, it's hard to stop. So, thank you for joining me on this journey through the wild world of the Zeta Reticuli, agendas, and the sweet taste of sovereignty. If this resonates with you, share it, talk about it, and most importantly, keep asking those big questions. You never know where they'll take you. Until next time, my fellow cosmic traveler, keep your mind open and your vibe high.